National Football League on EA Sports, as we see a team who left LA take on a team who came back home. It's the Raiders and the Bulls, and it's all just ahead on Madden NFL 25.
We are just a couple miles east of the LAX airport, just off the 405 or the 105 at the beautiful SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Here's the former Auburn kicker Daniel Carlson to get this one started. And we are underway in Southern California. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the former number 3 overall pick back in 2021. It's Trey Lance.
In recent years, we've seen a lot of love for North Dakota State in the NFL draft. And Trey Lance, he's a great example of what the Bison are sending to the league each and every year. This guy looks like a franchise quarterback. He wants his opportunity to prove it to the rest of the league.
And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's second down.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Charger first. 3rd and short, so didn't need much, but got a little extra on the backside. Nice run.
Chewed up the yardage, didn't he? To me, that was offensive line with leverage, good blocking angles, taking on a stacked defensive front. And once they chopped that little hole in the beginning, he took it and rambled.
And just the 3rd play from scrimmage, wanted to avoid the 3 and out and did just that. Now a first down carry for Harris. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Second down and 4. Now here's another carry for Harris. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10. Harris running straight ahead. And he gets it down to the 32. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
That was another good run, and he's having an excellent day. And right now, I don't think his team could have any more confidence in handing him the football.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. And Lance going to throw. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Chargers first down. He needed 5. He got it barely, as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want to throw body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT. 2nd and 10. On the give, this is Harris. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. More from L.A. in a moment. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Lance. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now it's 2nd and 10. Shotgun now for Lance. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
To throw, it's Lance. Over the middle, complete. That's Williams. And the Chargers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defense side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
They'll run here with a rookie. So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
And they fake the handoff. Now Lance. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. Here's 2nd and goal. On the give, it's Vidal. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
Pass hauled in by Johnston. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
No surprise they decided to throw on 3rd down. A little bit of a surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
And his kick is good. And the Chargers grab themselves a 3-0 lead. Even though they didn't find the end zone, they have to be pretty pleased with how they moved the ball on the ground because we know that that was one of their big goals in this game.
And that really goes through the entire offense because when you're running the ball effectively, just about everyone's involved. It's not just the guy carrying the football. It's everyone blocking for him, both inside and on the perimeter.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off a back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
Now Geno. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Geno. Short throw caught by Bowers. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
A shotgun snap for Smith. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. They'll fake it. Now Smith. That one complete to Trey Tucker. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers 30. A gain there of 21 yards.
Well, that's one way and a good way to get things going offensively. One play in and they're already on the move. The defense, they're hoping that's not a sign of things to come as this game unfolds.
Geno now to throw. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. In motion is Phillips. Back to throw, Smith. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
A run with Mostert up the middle. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
That solid gainer will put them on the doorstep of the end zone. More importantly, it gives them a fresh set of downs. Nice work right there.
It looks like a jumbo set with 3 tight ends here for 1st and goal. Here's Mostert. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Raheem Mostert taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Raiders have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line, and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Raheem Mostert. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Chargers get set to go here for their 2nd drive. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gassed,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
First carry of the game for Hassan Haskins. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. More from L.A. in a moment. Second down and 6 now. Now Lance. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And Lance now to throw. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time they were up to the challenge.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Lance looking to throw it. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 20-yard line. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Lance. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. Again, it's Vidal. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Cameron Dicker on now to try the field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick is indeed good, and they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So it was 4th and 1 down in the red zone, but they elect to take just the 3.
And I'm a little surprised that that's how they decided to play it, that they didn't go for it there. But sometimes just take those 3 points and put them in your pocket. I just have one question for you, partner.
Okay.
Hip pocket or back pocket?
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Second quarter now, and it's Las Vegas with the football. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. As they've got it as we resume action. To throw is Smith. Now the ball comes loose. I'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert. And he is going to have the Raiders' first down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3.
I'm not sure that that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
Now a quick throw out wide to Myers. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Smith now to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Phillips. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 44-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Now it's Smith. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Bowers. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
2nd and a couple. Play action. It's Smith. That's swung out to Mostert. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
In motion is Phillips. Smith throwing again. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Now Smith. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The Charger D making things difficult, and it's 4th down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Carlson able to put this one through, and they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Here's Lance. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Johnston. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On play action, Lance. It's Williams on the catch. Call it a gain of a yard, and 3rd and 8 now.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And Lance going to throw. And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Now 4th down, so the Chargers trot out J.K. Scott. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
This is caught by Tucker. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there at 22.
Good strong throw and catch right there, and so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Smith. He'll drop it off to McAllister as running back. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
That one's complete out to Michael Mayer. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers' 42. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Kind of a dangerous throw there. He's off balance when he gets rid of it. But this is all about a quarterback knowing what he can get away with. And that time, it turns into a completion and a healthy gain as well.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they will just roam and hit.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. He couldn't get the edge there. It wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead. With their footwork and speed, it was negligible on that play. No gain at all for the offense.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down. With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
Throwing now is Geno. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Geno. And a little floater there, but it'll wind up incomplete, falling to the ground.
What will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Smith. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with this 4th down call.
The kick by Carlson is good, and that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the 2 teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And the Chargers coming out of the field now. Now they're about to come up on drive number 4, but so far just 2 field goals on drives 1 through 3.
Wondering if the head coach has talked with his offensive coordinator and said, look, let's go ahead and press this a little bit. I'm giving you 4 downs on just about every occasion to try and get this offense kick-started and have it culminate in touchdowns. You know, maybe something to press it a little bit. This might be the case.
And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. On the ground, it's Vidal. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
The offense on 3rd down, they've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 7. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. 47-yard punt, a return of 4. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yep.
Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Not too many teams will use a first-round pick on a tight end, so you know that when one does, he's got to be pretty darn special.
A small example of why they took him in the first round there. A nice little catch and run to get the good yardage. Here's Smith. A quick throw there is incomplete.
We've already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is, because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
Here's a handoff to Mostert running left. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. 3rd and 9 here. Geno now to throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. Back deep for L.A. is Darius Davis. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Now the L.A. offense ready for this next possession. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like, because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge, because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
Here's Lance to throw it. Pass hauled in by Johnston. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. To throw, it's Lance. To the left side, he's got McConkey. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 7 yards there and a first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Now a deep one for Johnston. And incomplete on the deep ball.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Lance again. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Now the Chargers will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Lance looking to throw it. And this one finds McConkey. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The ball on the 32. It's 2nd and 2. Throwing now is Lance. Forced out to his left. Excellent work there by Lance as he scrambles for the first down.
As he came to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't need much to reset the chain, so when he saw the space he needed, no hesitation. He went to the marker and got his guys a first down.
Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And that'll bring him back within 4. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, it's still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
Four seconds, all that remain here this first half as the kick gets away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The final shot here before break. Smith. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Raiders out in front. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
It was Raheem Mostert, the veteran, who did some damage in that first half. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes it's his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
Throwing is Smith. Short throw caught by Bowers. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. They'll run up the middle with McAllister. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Here's 2nd and 7. Out of the gun, Smith. Short throw caught by Bowers. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it's 3rd and 4 now.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Here's Smith. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have the Raiders first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 is always a tough call. Maybe a little too long to run for it, but not too long to hit him on the quick slant. And that was well executed. Found the window and zipped it right in there.
From the gun, a run with Mostert. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now it's Smith. That's caught by Tucker. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Back to the running game with Mostert. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. On first down, they go with Mostert again. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Denzel Perryman there to bring him down.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef, they want to run the football. But that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Back to throw, Smith. He's got his target. That's complete. And the Raiders are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And I'll tell you what, this offense is playing a little bit of keep away right now. They've come out here in the 3rd quarter, possessed the ball for quite a while, and they keep on converting. Nice pitch and catch there to set up the 1st and goal.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. Mostert trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding them out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
2nd and goal from the 1. Smith now to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle 3rd of the field where he threw that one. They'll run for it here with McAllister. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. taking it in from a yard out. And the Raiders take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And not willing to risk a return, this ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge and opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a two-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome? A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
Now Lance. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They'll try the right side with Harris. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Here's Lance. And that's going to be incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for L.A. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Las Vegas's offense back out there ready to go. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
From his goal line here, Smith. Short throw caught by Bowers. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. But looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
They'll run right side with Mostert. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
Running the ball can be a struggle in this part of the field. In fact, it's a perfect spot for defenders to pin their ears back and try and work upfield, and they capture him for a loss.
On 3rd down, here comes Mostert. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. Even though they were stopped before the 1st down marker, well-executed run there by the offense.
It certainly was, and the best part about it, it opens up other plays, especially the play-action passing game. Because if you can sell the run, that brings the linebackers up, and you can throw over the top of them and in front of the safeties.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Chargers in good field position to start out. 1st and 10 at their own 44. They'll start on the ground with Harris. And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
If they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. Here's a 2nd and 8. An option handoff given to Harris. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Now Lance going to throw. That one complete to McConkey. And he is going to have the Chargers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris. And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. 68 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3-and-out.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. And Lance now to throw. That's swung out wide to Harris. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the 2nd half.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. It's Najee Harris now on back-to-back plays with a catch. And here he'll get it down to the 7. So offside's the call, and they understandably decline it.
And this is why we're seeing more and more teams hiring that one coach to the staff that's in charge of all these things. This one's minor. It's pretty easy to figure out. But all the game management stuff, trying to help out the head coach in his decision-making process.
Play action. Now it's Lance. He's got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Chargers. Will Dissly, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Chargers are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd.
This is why a lot of play callers love play action in this spot. You just want to freeze the linebackers just for a second. Then you got a chance to get a quick pass into your tight end right behind them for a touchdown.
Now the Charger offense will stay on the field as they'll line up to go for the 2-point try. Lance going to try to throw for this. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And with it, they're back within a field goal. Well, I guess the coach looked at the two-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a three-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a two-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
Now, after the Dicker field goal, he's back out, ready to send it away. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 46 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. From the 43, it's 2nd and 3. Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Running right, here's McAllister. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
They go back to the ground, this time Mostert. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert. And they will advance this across midfield, but still well shy of a 1st as he's tackled at the 47. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. So out come the Chargers. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. Harris starts the drive on the ground and trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Shotgun now for Lance. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
On the end around, here comes Williams. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Well, partner, if we had their entire playbook in front of us, I'm not sure we would have picked out that play as the one to run in that situation. How about the guts of the offensive coordinator? Dialing that one up into great success.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Setting up the screen, Harris. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one good for 13 and a Charger first.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
On the give, this is Harris. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Now a 2nd and 6. From midfield, here's Lance. Harris has it over the middle. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And now we've got a 3rd and 4.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Here's Lance to throw it. That is caught. 20. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Mike Williams, 47 yards. And the Chargers have taken a fourth quarter lead. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
And for the extra point, Cameron Dicker. And that will make this a 4-point game. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And in the end, it was Mike Williams who capped the drive with a touchdown reception. Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter. They'll start on the ground with Mostert, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense is pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game, and all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
From the gun, here's Smith. He'll drop it off to McAllister as running back. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And now it's 3rd and 3. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit. But get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
But you can absolutely feel the thought process there. They just gave up the touchdown. So in the huddle, they're telling each other, you don't want to give it back now on a 3-and-out. Nice job of making sure that they wouldn't, and they pick up the first down.
Here's Smith. Over the middle, hooks up with a tight end, Bowers. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the first down.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. A run with Mostert up the middle. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
A shotgun snap for Smith. Getting this out to the flat, Mostert. Only able to gain a couple there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now Smith. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. The Chargers offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
The Charger drive about to get going. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. That'll be a pickup of 4 as they work with his 4-point fourth-quarter lead.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
2nd and 6. Lance looking to throw it. Malcolm Kuntz able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time.
Now this is where field awareness comes into play. He's getting perilously close to his own goal line, and after that sack, backed up to his own 2.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7.
Oh, what a great job defensively to stack things up. They were committed to stopping the run. They knew it was coming. And now it looks like they should get the football back as they force an important 3-and-out.
Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Taken right around the 44. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Raiders offense and Geno Smith headed back out for this next possession. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes. And he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. An important one here, no doubt. 3rd and 4. Now Geno. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have the Raiders' first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. Here's Smith. Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked off by Denzel Perryman. And the Chargers have just about sewn up this football game. Well, you knew you had to take some chances here with the clock winding down, needing a touchdown to win it. And that one might have just sealed their fate.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the 2-minute drill. The offense trying to go downfield and make their plays. But defenses, they're sitting back watching everything that they do, but not too far back. They want to be in position to make a play on the ball, and that they did.
Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. They have the lead, still a one-possession game, but the defense got the stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off and, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. Stranger things have happened. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down. Harris running straight ahead. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's 3rd and 6. Now Lance. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Charger first down, and that should be the one that gets him to the finish line. And this defense, they needed that one more stop to have any chance, but that completion, that's likely going to seal their fate.
And you could hear it in your voice, that one more stop.
I feel their pain.
Oh, it was so important. They just didn't get it done. Wow, what a way to finish this one off.
Down to a knee goes Lance, and that should just about do it. Well, CD, for the losing side, they had opportunities in this one, but big plays just didn't go their way, especially late, and they have to suffer the L here.
It certainly felt like that takeaway, once it happened, it knocked the wind out of their sails, and they just couldn't get their equilibrium back.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From Southern California, so long, everybody.